I love this country that we can do this.
With Donald Trump back in the spotlight, concerns are growing about American aggression and influence. Trump has previously joked about Canada becoming the 51st state and his push for trade and defense policies that put pressure on Canadian sovereignty. How would you respond to this kind of pressure from the U.S., and what steps would you take to protect Canada's independence on the world stage?
Okay, Vic Comp, by the way, I forgive you for not letting me debate. I am a recovering alcoholic and or functioning alcoholic, and I apologize that I was not able to debate at Vic Comp. However, here we go. First of all, Trump was not joking when he called Trudeau the governor of the 51st state, folks. He and the USA want and need our wealth of resources big time, likely most importantly our water and of course our oil and gas. This is in line with my response to the question for me that was set exclusively, which we'll get to. I say screw Trump, screw Trump, screw Trump. Let's use the art of persuasion and the strength of our nation, including our national resources, our inclusive and diverse multiculturalism, which is our very national identity, our public, largely free healthcare system, and our kindness yet fearless warrior spirit when tested in such unavoidable and moral duties such as the role we played in World War II, might I add, prior to Americans putting troops on the ground. It's Ronald versus Donald show, folks. Truth, inclusion, and unity is my approach versus Trump's divisive speech and policies that incite more hatred and distrust and wars, such as the trade war he started primarily with China. I'm waving the Chinese flag today. The tariff war on China is wrong. Trump's an idiot.
Recent polls show that a significant portion of Albertans are supportive of either separating Canada or even joining the United States. How would you plan to address the growing sentiment in Alberta for greater autonomy or even independence? And what steps would you take to reassure Albertans their voice will be heard in Ottawa?
You look great, man. Okay, any Albertan who is talking independence and separating from Canada, smarten up, folks. We're not separating from Canada. That is not the answer, nor is Quebec ever separating. I believe the referendum was in 95. We don't want Quebec to separate it. We don't want Alberta to separate. Indeed, I wrote a paper at McGill Law on the similarities of Alberta and Quebec, the two fiercest provinces, in my opinion, on provincial autonomy and maximizing Section 92 of the Constitution powers. You already know my point on unification and collaboration and a united North America rather than division. During the end of my family law career last November, I broached the subject of my plan to transition out of oil and gas as quickly as possible with several clients of mine. All of my clients, folks, many of whom were in the oil and gas sector, agreed with me that we must transition out of oil and gas as quickly as possible, but of course also protecting our workers and getting them transitioned where necessary.
Okay.
My sweet home Alberta, that's my version of the song. We should lead the charge, folks, on global climate action and initiatives. Imagine the statement Alberta could make on this issue. We are rich with oil and gas. If we can transition out of oil and gas smoothly, we will be the exemplar for the world to do so. Thank you.
There's been a growing pushback against current immigration levels in Canada. Well, some arguing they're too high and are contributing to issues like crime and housing affordability. Do you agree?
How are you? You look beautiful. Absolutely not, folks. Immigration does not equal crime. If you think it does, give your heads a shake. Our immigration rate is not high enough, folks. Consider the wealth of cultures, expertise, and viewpoints and faiths and perspectives that we all have. We all bring something unique and special to the table. It should be a rather simple mathematical calculation to determine how much new housing we need to parallel our immigration rate. I say 1 million new homes per year minimum. That's the most aggressive platform of any of the parties. The value of skilled students and professionals, the value of skilled student and professional immigrants cannot be understated. However, we should aim to be global leaders on the assistance of refugees from war-torn countries, Ukraine, for example, and then do everything in our government's power to provide them with all the tools to succeed, namely education and work, training programs, trades, etc., whatever and however they want to contribute. I'm staunch on this, folks. Listen to this. These foreign trained and educated professionals from any country should have the opportunity to challenge a fair in-person accreditation or proficiency exam in any field or career. Ironically, I bumped into a guy last night who opined that immigrants steal our jobs. That could not be further from the truth, and it's redneck and ignorant.
Okay.
Wait. It's dangerous, wrong, hate speech, and I denounce it as we all should. I love Canada's identity of diverse multiculturalism. We are the leader on this point, and I ask for 0 votes for Bernier's PPC. S'il vous plaît en français.
You've answered the next 2 in the last question, so I'm going to go to question 6. In your view, what's the most pressing issue facing people in Edmonton Centre right now? And what specific action would you take to start addressing it?
The Indigenous culture and crime and homelessness are the biggest issues in my opinion. It's a tragedy that the above 3 issues are intertwined and disproportionately related. My best friend in McGill was Métis. Cam, I salute you. My boss and best friend at Earl's Red Deer Kitchen when I was a student at law, Chris, was, I believe, Cree. I would make it a priority to end homelessness, cooperation with the Enoch Band, who's already helping in the area to maximize the use of the Coliseum for beds, for example, for the homeless. I declare war in Edmonton Centre and across the country and globe against homelessness and hunger. I declare war against systemic racism of any kind by the police and judges against the Indigenous or any other race, like the African Americans in the States, unfortunately, happens there. Felicitación, Stanley, Otis, Toothless, Strawberry, et al., whom I met while in jail, folks. And I was unethically incarcerated, but that's a different story for another time. I love you and I'm for you. That's the biggest issue to me.
Your platform includes a proposal to unite Canada, the United States, and Mexico into a single country. How would you convince Canadians, especially Edmonton Centre electors, giving up Canada's national status and uniting with our North American neighbors?
This is me, Ronald Billingsley. Edmonton is the city of champions, no? I'm asking you to stand with me as champions then and help me with my vision to unite North America. Help me make it a reality. Eventually, sooner rather than later. The United North America would have nearly everything to be entirely self-sufficient, si nécessaire en français, but the idea is for the UNA to be the starting point for uniting the world. Consider these points, folks. Number 1, Canadian resources, land space, our public healthcare system, and our multiculturalism. Number 2, the very might of the U.S. military and one of the historically finest constitutions on the planet, and amazing citizens who unfortunately are being misled by their current leader who incites divisiveness and misinformation. Honestly, I think a leader of the U.S. should have to take an IQ test first, no? Let's get Donald Trump to do an IQ test. If he doesn't pass 100, get him out, oust him. Mexico's people, the resorts, of course, come on guys, and the produce, for example. Furthermore, we as concerned citizens of the world should want to assist the U.S. with their massive national debt and to assist Mexico and other countries with their drug cartels and crime and other travesties occurring. Should we unite North America and collaborate, or turn a blind eye to the benefits of such a union? I do believe such drugs, this is a PS, I do believe such drugs as cocaine should be legalized, taxed, and regulated, as it comes from a natural plant and could be made safer for use. Trudeau legalized marijuana, which in my opinion is a drug of sloth. I say let's legalize cocaine, the drug of focus, war, and work. Make it safe, tax it, and of course, the United North America would have 0 tariffs, folks. Thank you, Ronald S. Billingsley Jr., and I endorse this message.